The sea first enchants a man, and then it swallows him. Every captain sailing alone has a limit. At some point, a man no longer fights the waves, but his own mind. In 2012, the diary of Captain Kyle Wright, who sailed alone in the South Pacific, was found. The pages were scorched by sunburn, bleached with salt. Some entries were clear enough to read. Others looked as if they were written in a rush, the letters trembling with fear. No one knows how much of this diary is imagination and how much is real. But one thing is certain. While Kyle Wright was trying to return home, the world had already begun to change. Now I will read you this diary. But let me warn you, whatever began in the middle of the ocean, it was already too late by the time it reached the shore. July 15th, 2012, near Banaba Island, Kiribati, South Pacific. Day 34 of my solo trip across the South Pacific. Pony is doing well. Considering the distance and time, she's keeping me roughly on course. Last night was rough. The sea didn't welcome me kindly. Hard to say I slept well with the waves tossing me around. Still, all systems are functioning properly. While ashore, I fixed my sail. A local guy repaired it for me. Didn't speak a word of English, but he understood the language of money well enough. I managed to restock supplies, even found some fresh fruit. Struck bold with that one. Living off Vienna sausages and stale bread isn't ideal, but it'll do until the next port. I'm still undecided where to go next. North toward Tarawa or east toward Christmas Island. Either way, I'm moving. This solo business is grueling. I'm healthy enough, but to be honest, it's not the physical strain that wears me down. It's the loneliness. I miss watching TV. I miss eating a hamburger. And more than anything, I miss my wife. July 18th, 2012. Unknown. It's the middle of the night, and I can't sleep a wink. The sea is calm, but I've been sleeping poorly for days. A massive storm caught me off guard, and I lost my phone connection. That was the last time I spoke to home, then poof, the thing sank into the depths. Julia hasn't heard my voice since. At least she can still track my progress through the GPS. Wish I could do the same for her. Watch her go to the gym, see her take Taylor to the park. I'd give anything for even the smallest reminder of home. The sea is a beautiful lady, but that's all she is, a lady. I'm not married to her. She gives me pleasure, yes, but I still want to go home and see my wife and child. But dear God, look at the ocean under the moon, dressed like a countess ready for a ball. I've never seen anything so beautiful. The stars are her pearls, the moon her white gown. I can see why so many men fall in love with her. But I know her ways. I know how quickly she turns from beautiful to monstrous. What I wouldn't give to see what's beneath her surface, to understand what makes her so beautiful and so deadly. I'm filling my log with madness. I need sleep, and I need to see my wife. July 20th, 2012. Off Christmas Island, Kiribati. I repaired the main boat, but couldn't find anyone who could fix the bent shaft in the engine. At least I hit the obstacle near shore, Otherwise, I might have been drifting for days. Finally had a real conversation in English with someone. Met a guy named Riley at a local motel while grabbing a drink. Hospitable fellow. We talked for an hour. Said he was headed to a small island west of here. Running from the apocalypse, he told me. Bit of a lunatic, I'd say. Heard some news about forest fires in California. Hope they don't spread north. The mainsail is in good shape, GPS is working, and I finally set my course home. No issues with systems, port side solid. Calm waters. July 22nd, 2012. Unknown. Something's happening out there. After leaving Christmas Island, my GPS stopped working. So I turned back. But it wasn't damaged, it just couldn't connect to the satellite. For an hour, it only displayed searching. Frustrated, I turned back toward the island, hoping to get a replacement, but as soon as I approached, a military patrol boat intercepted me. An American boat, but not with Americans on board. They were locals, armed to the teeth, with military-grade weapons, not the stuff you see in the hands of terrorists. Something had happened. And they were all wearing gas masks, those big-eyed ones that make you look like an alien. They aimed their weapons at me. Laser dots danced on my forehead. None of them said a word. I raised my hands to show I was unarmed. On a solo trip, for heaven's sake, not a damn pirate. Eventually, a voice crackled through. Do not approach. Turn back. Heavy accent. That was it. No movement on the guns. They stayed aimed at my head. I turned back immediately. Didn't even look over my shoulder. What were they doing on an American boat? Why were they armed? Why the gas masks? Then things got really strange. I headed east the next morning, putting as much distance as possible between me and those bastards. The sun was too beautiful, too beautiful. Something's wrong, I kept thinking. Then I saw the ship. At first, it was just a stain on the horizon, sitting in a cloud of smoke. I should have assumed it was a small island fire or something. But something pulled me toward it. It gave my mind something to focus on besides the questions circling like vultures. So I changed course. The stain grew, the smoke rose, and the dread never left. Fire is the cruelest fear at sea. Everything is water, yet none of it can save you from burning. When I got close, I realized it was a fishing vessel. Fire had started in the nets and climbed the mast. The central beam had collapsed. The deck was an oven. Through binoculars, I saw bodies writhing, dark shapes swallowed by growing flames. Then the radio crackled. A local fisherman was screaming. I couldn't understand the words, but the fear was universal. I scanned the captain's quarters and saw a man inside waving his arms at me while yelling into the radio. I reached for my microphone. Then the second strange thing happened. Two men burst onto the deck on fire. Flames tore from their backs and arms, like stuntmen in a movie. They slammed against the captain's door with furious strength. The screaming over the radio twisted into a new tone, a prayer, begging me to save him. But I only watched. Mouth open, frozen, as the burning men broke down the door and vanished inside. The radio went silent. The only sound left was my engine. I shook my head violently. It feels like a dream now. Maybe I cursed out loud. Maybe nothing came out. Maybe it all happened in my head. But I remember turning the wheel and holding on to my boat for dear life. After an hour, the column of smoke disappeared behind me. Something is happening out here. Something bad. And those burning bastards? I can't get them out of my head. I just want to go home. To my wife. To hear her voice and fall into her arms. July 12th, 2012. Unknown. Ever since I saw that ship, there's little to report. Just open ocean. But I've been thinking. The guns, the masks, the burning boat. My mind had nearly erased them over the past weeks, like fog swallowing a memory. There must be a medical term for it. Shock, maybe. Or maybe my mind is pushing it aside so I can focus on the task, surviving this damned ocean. At first, I didn't even know why I set out on this journey. I told my family and friends I needed to clear my head. But instead of clearing up, my thoughts tangled even more. Thoughts of home, my wife sleeping alone, my dreams of growing wings and flying back to her. Why did I punish her? Why did I punish myself? The GPS still shows nothing but searching every time I turn it on. I never understood the sextant, though I have one on board. Never thought I'd need to use the damn thing. After all, that's why we have technology. It just sits there, whispering that it knows where I am if I only ask properly. But I can't. I tried. So, I follow a rough course on the map. I'm sure I passed Hawaii. By the end of the month, I should reach the American coast. The water is unnaturally calm, and the sunrise is strange. Some mornings it rises blood red, painting the sky an ocean crimson. The boat looks like it's cutting through a sea of blood. Unsettling at first, but strangely beautiful. Riding in this log lightens the weight on my shoulders. Nice to have something to do besides staring at the water or reading the wind. My supplies are holding for now. Fruit spoiled, but the canned goods should last another month. Hull is solid, mainsail and rigging holding strong. Still heading home. July 29th, 2012. Off Oregon. Land. Goddamn land. I never thought the sight of Oregon's pine trees would make me this happy. Finally, I'm home. Thank you, God. I saw it yesterday first, faint on the horizon. Too far to reach before dark, so I anchored. Sailing at night without GPS is suicide. I'm just glad I'm thinking clearly. The closer I got, the more landmarks I recognized. Less than half a day until I reach home. Tonight, I will eat my last canned peas. The food didn't last as long as I'd hoped, and I've been drinking distilled seawater. But if it means seeing my wife, let me starve. I'll walk into the house, call her name and watch her come from the kitchen. I'll hold her, breathe her in and never let go. My hands are shaking from excitement. I'll see her soon. I'll see her again. July 30th, 2012. Oregon. Something happened here. Something bad. I docked at Burnt Hill, the marina I left 3 months ago. But it's not how I remember it. The dock is still intact, the buoy's still there, but everything is simpler. Plain. And I can't help but think about the armed men. The burning ship. The fear I'd forgotten has clawed its way back. In my last entry, I was so happy, so hopeful. Reading it now feels like a dream. That excitement is gone, replaced by a knot in my stomach, a stone sinking deeper and deeper. When I entered the marina, the first thing I noticed was the bitter smell of smoke, mixed with something else I couldn't identify. Fear wrapped around me like a net. My first thought was a fire. I pictured my home burning, the whole town burning. Was she safe? I saw a fishing boat listing, smoke still rising from its charred deck. The memory of the burning ship flashed before me. The main marina and town were hidden behind pine trees, but something was wrong. Deeply wrong. No one was there. A place normally packed was empty. 3 boats remained, 2 smoldering. Then something hit my boat. I looked down, expecting debris, but I locked eyes with a floating corpse. My heart hammered. Then the smell hit me. Death, rotting bodies. To my right, more of them, face down, face up, torn apart. Everywhere. I vomited right onto the helm. Bile covered the gauges. My legs shook. I don't remember docking. Maybe instincts handled it. By the time I came to, I was sitting, drenched in sweat, that stone in my gut pulling me down. Why was everyone dead? Who or what did this? What happened here? Then I remembered my wife. I ran to the deck, stopped. Besides my ragged breathing and the water slapping the dock, silence. Something made me take my gun, and something else made me stop to write this, like a goodbye. No matter what, I'm going to find her. July 31st, 2012. Off Oregon. I don't know why I'm still writing dates or places. I don't know anything anymore. I found some answers. They weren't all dead, the people. Not in the normal way. They looked dead. They smelled dead. But they moved. They chased me. Some were missing organs. Some had shredded skin. None spoke. They just chased. I found my wife. I think she's really dead now. Not one of the walking ones. I shot her 5 times. She didn't stop until I hit her head. I think I stopped crying sometime last night. Everything's a blur. They chased me, tried to eat me. When I got home, she tried to bite my face. I went home and called her name. She came from the kitchen. Half her face was gone. She screamed and ran at me, tried to bite my face. So I shot her. But she wasn't her. She was dead, pieces of her beautiful face missing. I shot her 5 times. She didn't stop until I shot her head. Then I ran. And more came. They weren't dead, but they weren't alive. They chased me, screamed. Some had missing organs. Some had skin peeling off. I made it back to my boat, headed out to sea again, back into this ocean. Everything is mixed up. I lost the box of ammo, but there's still one bullet in the gun. I spent an hour spinning the magazine, opening it, closing it. The bullet never stayed at the top, and I couldn't find the strength to put it there. So I kept spinning it. Now it's at the top. The gun is on the table staring at me. The sun is rising, red again, like the other mornings. I'll go watch it from the deck. Watch the ocean turn from blue to red, from water to blood. I don't think adding mine will change anything.